Hi, welcome to the Shelly Studio. Today I am experimenting. So I've been watching this lady on YouTube. Her name is Sandra Duran Wilson. That's what her YouTube channel is under. And I will link it down below. But I guess this year she's been doing stuff on YouTube. She's gone like to where you have to subscribe now, so I haven't seen anything for a couple of weeks, but she has some really fun videos with materials and techniques that I hadn't really tried before. So this one, I am taking string gel and putting it through a stencil onto some rice paper. It was exactly the same brand as rice paper as she had. I just happened to have it. And this first one works the best. I do several different ones. I think maybe I put more on this one. But the idea is for that string gel to soak into the rice paper and make that area transparent. So here you can see, I just tried showing you how you could sort of see through it. And like I said, it didn't work as well as I was hoping for. Now there is a slick side of rice paper and a textured side. Maybe it made a difference. I can't remember what side I did now. And then what you do is you add color to the rice paper and then just wipe the excess off of the dried string gel area. You could probably use gloss gel, for that matter, for this technique, probably. I just happened to have some string gel that I'd gotten on clearance a while ago. Gotta use it up, right? I bought all this clearance stuff and I just have piles of stuff. So, experimenting is fun. And I'm just using a high flow, Golden's high flow. I think it's some turquoise, something or other. You can use heavier bodies, but you want it fairly fluid so that you can get it off of the tar gel, string gel, same stuff, apparently. So there we have it. Just trying to show you. See, you can see through it. Not really. Anyway, I made a few of these, and so I just thought I would add color. And this one, it was too wet. So it really kind of bled into the other area. So you don't want it like too wet. So that was a wet brush plus a high flow. This was a sample paint. That's why it's in a strange bottle. And I'm just using a paper towel, not a baby wipe. I probably could use a baby wipe. But anyways, I've liked watching her videos. She's had some really interesting techniques that I hadn't really thought about before. Yes, I have to buff it all off. I was trying to make that as white as possible, like as clear as possible. But I think, can't remember if I end up taking a baby wipe to it or not. Alright, and here's another one I did. Again, it's a little too wet. You can see the paint flowing underneath. Oh well, it's for mixed media. It'll just make it all the more interesting, right? think this level of paint is called fluid. So it's not quite as runny as the high flow. Maybe like a brand new bottle of craft paint consistency. They get thicker as they get older. Alright, one more down. Okay, so now here's the one that I did first, and you can see the colors underneath as it moves around on that paper that's got a little bit of paint on it now. You can see this one, even though I'm using black, it's a little more transparent in those gelled areas. So for that black, that paint really sticks to that tar gel. I thought that was really interesting that it stuck so much, because I'm using the same like brand of stuff that she used and she didn't have this problem. Maybe it's just me. Of course, I'm good at making messes, so. This is sped up, but I did try to move quickly so as to not let that dry too much before I wiped off the excess. Okay, so there we go. I have a few variety to play with. So here's another one of her techniques that I thought I would try. This is actually fusible web from the sewing section, you know, where you can iron stuff together, fuse it together. So it's still on its backing. I just cut a piece off. When she did it, she had a lot runnier paint. Got a more tissuey sort of vibe. Mine's a little stiffer, but I wanted these colors for some reason. I didn't have anything planned to do with this. I just wanted to try these techniques. These crazy mixed media ideas. And see what I could do with them. And really, I'm not trying to paint anything specific. I'm just adding color. Now, also with this, you don't want to dry this thing with the heat tool, because you'll just melt that fusible web stuff. So that is one thing about using this material. So if you're addicted to that heat gun like I am, it's really hard to not accidentally, you know, melt something. And I don't know why I'm working so hard on this. It's going to be cut up into pieces, so should have taken a picture of it. It looks like a landscape. Okay. So see, the idea is you're going to take pieces of that, and you can iron it on. It's somewhat see-through. It's not very much. I used heavier paint. So I decided I started out figuring it would just be some sort of crazy abstract thing. And this is just a piece of deli paper that has leftover paint that I just cleaned off my paintbrush with, and we're going to use that as the base. And, you know, normally matte medium is my thing. It's my favorite. I use Liquitex matte medium for everything. But I've listened to a few people, like this person that I've been watching her stuff, and Bob Burridge, and they say they use the gloss medium to collage with because it's optically clear. So they can do multiple layers of stuff and it's not going to get foggy, I guess. So all I had was this gel medium, so it's a little thicker, you know, than regular just matte medium. But I'm sure they have like a gloss medium I could start using. And then if I want the matte finish, I could put that over the top. Alright, so I'm cutting out a few of these just into some circle shapes. And we're going to iron them on to my background. This should be interesting. See if maybe we can do it without melting something that I'm not supposed to melt. And again, no real plan, just thought it would be fun to try. They ended up being very hard to separate once I cut them out. I ended up using tape to catch the edges, but it does peel off the paint, so you have to be careful with that. And my plan was to have 2 circles on the right, a circle up on the left, and these little rectangles down the side of this. But you'll see what happens. Alright, so I'm putting a board underneath it just to keep, because I'm going to be putting an iron on, and I don't want it to, like, get my table too hot. And I'm just going to iron that right on to the artwork. And it needs a little bit more heat. I've never been good with fusible web. I usually heat it too long. It like disappears. I melt it entirely. Alright, so you see what happened? That little rectangle, square, whatever, got away and ended up stuck to the surface. So I'm just going to have them going in a row that direction instead. And in fact, in the end, I think you don't see them at all. And you can see there, I got a little too hot on there. Melted it entirely away. And I've had this piece of parchment paper forever rolled up, so it's like hard to get it to stay flat. Okay, so now they're all ironed on. Now, let's try some of this stuff and see how it works. So, this one with the circles, you can see the background. But the other ones, I don't really think you can see the background at all. I'm just tearing it to give it a more organic look. Can't tear through that string gel though, I have to go around it. And this one I just decide to do just a big strip of it. So I'm using more of the gloss gel. Gloss medium would work, probably better, be more absorbent. Getting that stuck down. Like I said, this is intuitive collaging. And one more piece, why not? Right down the center, sort of. So I decide to put a couple more of these shapes on. And the other layers are dry, by the way. I wouldn't try ironing that on wet. There we go. Alright, so now that I've stuck all that stuff on there, I figured I needed to turn this into something. So I just pulled out my art crayons. And gel crayons, see what I could come up with. Started out by emphasizing those circles, and then I start to see something emerge. Oh, here I'm just, why not add one more layer? So this is modeling paste or molding paste. Can't remember which brand calls it which thing. Just to add some more texture, because why not, right? Okay. I don't think I've spotted the shape in there yet, but it comes soon, I think. So I was like, I need some sort of focus for this thing. Oh yeah, here it is. I decide it looks like it could be a woman dancing. And now all I have to do is figure out how to get her to show up. decided to add a little peach to her skin. I know that arm looks shorter than the other one, but does it look like maybe it's going back behind a little bit? So that's what I was thinking. That's what I was trying for. Just trying to clean up some of my messy... The board... With all that stuff on there, it is super, super textured. So it was really hard to get smooth edges. So I'm just trying to create like visible smooth edges with that pencil. Just adding a bit of a dark edge. Just framing it all in, even though it's not done. And what I'm doing is, once I've got that blended out, I'm taking a little bit of the gel medium, putting it over the top so that it doesn't activate if I happen to do something else with a liquid medium. And that way it won't turn everything black. Because once that's dry, it'll be good. Alright, so it sat for a day, and I decided I needed to unify her dress a little bit. So I'm just going to take a little bit of cheddar, orange paint, and stencil over her skirt. Hoping that would kind of unify it a little bit. I'm sorry this section is fuzzy. I didn't realize my camera had gone out of focus. I'm just adding some more neon just to brighten things up a little bit. Alright, now it's back in focus. Again, taking a line around the edge, trying to smooth her out a little bit. So what do you think? You know, you should check her out. I can't remember her name now. I said it in the beginning. That had all those different kind of mixed media techniques. She's got some really interesting videos over there on her channel. I'll link it below again. And I'll do some close-ups of some of the different sections of this so you can kind of see what it looks like in close-up if you're interested. But if you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and as always, if you'd like to see more from me, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.